Hello, welcome to Let's Make a Square series. We're going to be looking at making different squares, different patterns, hopefully all about the same size. For this we're going to need a double knit yarn and a 4.5mm hook, scissors, and then a yarn needle to finish. So we'll just move those out of the way. So you're going to take the end of your yarn and you are going to just wind around and over. So from here, this is a magic loop. So you're just going to draw through your yarn. So now what we're going to do, into this we're going to just do 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Now, holding your magic loop, you're going to work into the string and then later on we can pull it tight, hence the magic ring. So to do the next post, this is the UK treble stitch. US terms, this is called double crochet. So you're going to hook under your yarn, into your hoop, under, and draw through. You've now got 3 over your hook. So you're going to draw under, draw through 2, under, draw through 2. So that creates your first post. Under, into the loop, under and through, under, through 2, under, through 2. So this is the first little section. So now we're going to create a corner for the next round. So it's just simply chain 2. Then you're going to do just another small cluster. So you're going to go under, in, draw through 2, through 2, under, in, through 2, through 2, under, in, draw 3, under, through 2, under, through 2. So now we need to make a second corner. 2 chains. Okay, we're going to do the next little section, next little cluster. So under, into your ring, pull through, under, pull through 2, under, pull through 2, under, in, pull through, under, pull through 2, under, pull through 2, under, in, pull through, under, pull through 2, under, pull through 2. Now we're going to make just another 2 chain corner. Hold it a bit tighter there. Under, in, through 2, through 2. Just same again for this just last little section. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we've got our centerpiece done, you can pull that up a bit tighter. We're going to chain 2 for our final corner, and then what you're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top here. So you just go into the stitch, hook under, draw through, and draw through. Bit tight. Okay, so this is our started section. So now we're going to chain 3. This creates your first post. So on each round you're going to get an extra 2 posts onto each section. So we started with 3, the next section will have 5. So this essentially counts as a post above the first post. So our last post will be added on our last round. So for this one you're going to go under, into the top. So you can see you're just going into the center of the stitch. It looks like you've got 2 little loops above there. So you're going to draw through and then just same again, draw through 2, draw through 2. So you're going into the top of your stitch, draw through and through 2. Now we've reached the 2 chain space. So what we're going to do here is you're going to do treble into the chain space, you're going to create your new corner, 2 chains, you're going to treble into the same chain space, and there we go. So it's going to look like this. So you've got 2 stitches into this chain space, and then you're going to do a treble into each post of your previous round. So let's count those: 1, 2 and 3. Sorry, 1, 2 and 3. I'm trying to look over my phone, so it's a little difficult. And then we've got to the next corner, so you're going to do a treble, 2 chains and a treble all into this 2 chain space. So treble, 2 chains, treble all into the 2 chain space. So you can see that section there, that's now complete. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that round, 3 on the first beginning round. So we're just going to work our way around, and we're going to just continue to do into each post. So 1, 2 and 3. No idea what I'm going to make once we finish making a few squares. I've made various blankets, I've made various things to wear, but it's always a nice idea, and if you've got that cold relative, blankets are easy to do, quick to put together, and they make a beautiful gift, something to pass down. So we've made our second corner there. We're going to go across the final row, so into the first post, second post and third post, and then we're going to work our treble, 2 chain and treble into this last corner. So treble, 2 chain and treble. Now we're going to just slip stitch into the top, which will complete the first little section. So just going to slip stitch, draw it through both of those. So each round that we go, you're essentially going to be just a stitch further in to slip stitch. So you can see what it's starting to look like here. So you've now got 5 stitches on each round. So same again, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to have 7 in the next round. So let's do our 3 chain, and then you're going into the next post, into the next post, so we're working into our corner as per. You're going to do your treble, your 2 chain and your treble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you'll have your 6th and 7th when you finish this round. So you're going to work your 2 chain, do your second treble into here, and then into the top of each. Now if I'm going a little bit too quickly for some, if this is your first square, I'm delighted that you could join us and you're giving it a go. If this is going just a little bit too quick, you can use the YouTube tools. There's a little icon there where you can speed up or slow down any tutorial. So you can put it onto a playback speed of like 0.75 or even 0.5, and just so you can keep up with doing the stitches. Alternatively, you can do a little section, pause it, and then join again when you're at the same part. So we're doing a corner, so you've got a treble, 2 chain and a treble into your corner. I'm going to work into each post of this row. So into a corner treble, 2 chain, treble, and then just keep going into each post, same again. It's quite relaxing, really. If there's something that you want to make, you could aim just to do like a square a night. Very achievable, doesn't take too long. So into our final corner we're going to work treble, 2 chain, treble, and then we still have that very first post to work into. So you're going to work into that before making a slip stitch into the top of this post. So there we go. Now we've got 3 rounds. Into your next round, same again, you're going to gain another 2 posts. So we've got 3, 5, 7. Next round we'll have 9 posts. So we'll start with your chain 3 to create your first post, and then just working into the round, same as before. You're going to just keep going in through 2, through 2, under, in, through 2, through 2. So first corner, treble, 2 chain, treble, and then into each post. So you can see how you're creating an extra post per round. It's nice and simple. This is such a pretty square to start with, something that's achievable. We can all do it. Sometimes it's nice if you find a square that you like to do, just to maybe use different colorways. You could do a different color on each round on some of the squares. You know, you can do solid squares as I'm doing now, just one color. Maybe in our next tutorial we'll look at bringing in a second color. So 2 and treble into that corner. Okay, so it's looking good. We can tighten up the center a little bit more, and then we'll sort of sew that in at the end. So into each post, you see sort of like as you're going, you've got just a tiny gap. This is what we're going into. I should maybe have said that sooner in this tutorial, but hopefully it's been clear and you can follow this. So just to keep going round. Into a corner. I'm just going to drop my yarn down because it's easier when I'm bringing it up from height. So into each post. So we're nearly there, we're nearly finished this round. So we're just going to work into our corner. Okay, so that should give us, you've got 3, 5, 7, 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's us. We're just going to, as we have been before, do a slip stitch. So you're going into the stitch. Oops, I don't think I've gone into the stitch itself. No. So just going into the stitch, and you're going to draw through 2. So we've got 3, 5, 7, 9 stitches. I think we can do another round. So this time you're going to end up with 9 posts on each side. 3, 5, 7, 9. So we're going to end up with 11 posts on each side, sorry. If this is your first time doing a project like this, I would love to know how you're finding it, how you're getting on, and if there's anything else that maybe any advice that I could offer to make it just a little bit more easy or enjoyable for you. If you've got a project in mind, again, please share. I have 101 projects on the go, to my husband's delight. So just keep going. It's very relaxing. Maybe in the next tutorial we'll look at doing a granny square, and the variations for those are absolutely endless. You can make all sorts of wonderful designs. We'll just start with something, maybe add in an extra colour, something nice and simple. So into our corner. I just need to put up more yarn. So I've reached our next corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our treble, to chain treble corner. into the first post. So I think that this is a nice size for a square. We're going to just do our slip stitch join, so into the middle of that stitch and draw through both two there. So we've got a nice square. Some people like to block these. Generally I don't really bother, to be honest, because when I'm putting them together they get pulled into a nice perfect square. I think this is an okay size. Just going to get my little tape measure, my little ruler out. We've got an 11 centimeter square, so should we go ahead and make one more? I don't know. I think this is kind of a nice size. It's an easy doable. You can keep going. You can make these bigger, you can make it smaller. I think this is a nice size, around 11 or 12 centimeters. If you have one that's very slightly bigger, the joy is that it will stretch. But there we have our first granny square. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to finish off. So I'm going to undo that last loop there, and I'm just going to pull that through, and we're going to trim off here. And what I'm going to do is just pull it through, and you'll see why. So using our yarn needle, we're just going to take our needle and we're just going to go into the top of this and then into the middle of the previous one. So essentially you're creating the same loop and just draw it nice and tight. So there we've got an invisible join. Now usually what I do from here, I hate the idea of going to all the effort and then things might be able to come undone, so I kind of draw it through my work until I get to where you can see there are a few little loops together, and I'll come through those loops and just go back. You'll sort of skip the first one when going back on yourself, so give it something tight to draw onto, sort of around, and then draw through. Nice and invisible. So we can finish that and we can trim off. Now I do the same thing as well with the magic loop, so it's not going to come undone. But like I say, I am one of those people who, you've taken the time to do something, so I just like to think that you're doing a good job. You're finishing it properly. So we've pulled it through. It's come around this way here. So if we just skip over this first loop and into the next and go back around a few, pull it through, job done. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. So when you've finished your square, keep it somewhere safe. Let's add to this collection. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's a pretty little square, one of my favourites, and it'll all stretch out when we put it together. So here we go. Square number 1. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye.